Ladies and gentlemen, we have started winding up this series. In this series, we're talking about two major aspects of life. We're talking about comfort and we're talking about growth. We are saying that those cannot be on the same plane. That if your goal in life or if your ambition in life is to grow, to become a better person, to mature, to be a better speaker than you are, better salesperson than you are, to be a better writer than you are, to be a better father, a mother, or whatever it is that you want to be better at. If growth is your ambition, then comfort or goals set to buttress comfort are the worst goals that you can be able to have. There is nothing wrong with having those kinds of goals, like, having a house, having a better phone, and so on, and having more money, and so on. But those are goals that are massaging your ego, and they are not going to contribute to your growth. The ones that contribute to your growth are those ones that will impute immediate, consistent discomfort and hardship in your life. And I know this sounds so scary, but it's very instructive. Even I've started winding up this series, let us look at one reason as to why comfort is not what you should be seeking in this life. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Life Signatures episodes are brought to you by africanbooks.com, which is an online ebook platform that seeks to broadcast the African Christian voice to the world. As such, they have become a hub for African content, connecting African writers and publishers with a global reading audience. Publishing your books on their site is free and easy, with authors having full control over their content and the price they choose to sell at it. I was personally blown away by the concept that africanbooks.com is coming up with. Things like no content from their site or their app is going to be run on laptops so that people can easily copy. In other words, your content as a writer is restricted from digital multiplication or digital copying, so you remain intact with your information. And the other concept that I got so blown away with was the fact that in some time to come, in due course, africanbooks.com will be starting to announce African Writer of the Year. In other words, there will be competitions in all African countries to figure out who is the best published author. And I also fell in love with the fact that countries can actually compete against each other. We can have African authors going at it after each other, and your book as an author will be reviewed and have some stars and recommended upon that particular platform. The thing is that it's an answer to Amazon.com. You know, with Amazon, what happens? You've got to have an account in the Americas or whatever, or in Europe before you can get paid as an author. But here, the local currency is in play and the local means of getting paid are in play. So to get started, go to africanbooks.com as an author or as a publisher, and even as a reader if you wanted to read your African favorite authors. Enjoy. Muhammad Ali said he hated training, but then he told himself that, well, I'd rather just endure this for this while and then live the rest of my life as a champion. What does that tell us? It tells us the route that you're going to take, or the path for growth. It is not comfort. It is difficulty. And the kind of difficulty I'm talking about here is not the difficulty that is necessarily just brought by a crisis or a setback. Maybe your house catches fire, or you lose a relative, or you lose your job, and so on. Those ones, they have their place. You cannot schedule them. They will come by themselves. They will organize themselves. But I'm talking about the hardship, or the difficulty, or the discomfort that you organize for yourself, and you impute upon that difficulty on yourself. Now, I've given you examples in the previous episode. I said something, for example, you are someone who is overweight. If you go to a nutritionist and they measure and all those things, they find that you're overweight. One of the things that is going to make you to be healthy is to impute difficulty upon your life. So for instance, if you love just loafing around and just doing no activity and just using screens from dawn to dusk, then one of the difficulties that you're going to bring into your life is to make sure that you wake up early and go and do an exercise or walk for 30 minutes or whatever it is. You're going to make sure that that becomes a new habit. You're imputing this difficulty on yourself. Notice one interesting thing, that this difficulty is going to vary from one person to another depending on where they are at in relation to where they want to go, in relation to whatever aspect of their life is. For some people, that difficulty will be in the financial sector. Others, it will be in their health. Others will be in their mind and in their business. Others will be in their family. Whatever it is that you wanted to grow on, the route to get there is by personally inflicting, quote unquote, inflicting pain on yourself. If you wanted to be a better writer, maybe right now you're doing good and people are appreciating the speeches that you're churning out. But if you wanted to write something that stands out, you're going to impute some difficulty on your life. A difficulty that, for example, you're going to write 30 speeches every week, so to speak. That's not comfort. That's difficulty. So we are saying that if you wanted to grow, the worst goal is comfort. Why? Let us look at reason number 1 today. Comfort, number 1, dulls the senses of purpose. When you are comfortable, have you ever noticed that you only think about purpose when you are under pressure, when you are stretched, when you are disillusioned, when things are not adding up? Then that's when you start thinking, what on earth am I doing here? What is it that I can be able to do that brings fulfillment and makes me to churn out work? You think about that when you are in distress. That's why you need to celebrate your distress. You need to celebrate, okay, I know it sounds very weird. Okay, I know it sounds very weird. Let me tell you this. Blessed moments are those moments of difficulty as compared to moments of bliss. And I know we all want bliss and so on. Let me tell you, the wisest people, there's even a joke that you should get married so that you can become a philosopher, something of that nature. The wise people that you see in life are those guys who have gone through a crucible of trial, of difficulty. But even wiser people are those ones who have decided to bring this discomfort and get themselves out of their comfort zone, because they know, as we are saying, that comfort for the most part is not a friend of purpose. I can't remember the exact words that Denzel Washington used. He said that ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Yeah, I think he said something of that nature. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. When you are living in comfort, in the tank of the car is filled up and you have drivers and you have everything in place, there is data for the rest of the year on your phone, and you can do YouTube the whole day. You can watch full-length movies on your phone without thinking about where the data is going to come from. You have food to eat, and there's basically everything is in place. The sense of purpose is dulled. That's why you and I, even if all those things are in place, and that's an ideal, by the way. You have data on your phone, you have money in your bank account, you have a home to die for, a wife to die for, kids to die for, a massive, nice, beautiful home life. If those things are there in your life, then you need to find something that is imputing some kind of difficulty in your life. It could be waking up earlier. It could be doing some physical exercises. It could be trudging along for 2 hours to try and read a book. These are goals that we're supposed to have, goals that are not for comfort, because comfort dulls the senses of purpose. Have you noticed that when there is food on the table, clothes on your backs, and fuel in your car, you tend to get laid back and drop your guard, and you don't think about meaning. You don't think about impact. In fact, what you do, you want to cocoon yourself and you want to protect all these things that you already have as much as possible, which is not an enlightening thing to do at the end of the day. Comfort is good if it's generated. Comfort is not good if it's the goal. It has to be a byproduct. In fact, comfort is the byproduct of success. Success itself is also a byproduct of something else. It's a byproduct of seeking purpose. So that's the projection, that's the trajectory. If you wanted to grow, you have to identify what your purpose in life is, and then start seeking that purpose, pursuing that purpose, and then you become successful. Okay? And then what happens? The comfort comes. The comfort that you're looking for. It is not the goal. It is not the main target. It is a byproduct of seeking your purpose and pursuing it. Why should we not seek comfort? Why should we not make comfort the main object? Viktor E. Frankl said that success must ensue. Because if you look for it, it's like a mirage. It's not gonna get there. You're not gonna get there. It ensues. It's like you wake up and you're like, hey, wait a minute. It's like I read a story of this CEO or the founder of Equity Bank. Equity Bank is one of the biggest banking institutions in East Africa. He said by the time he became a millionaire, he didn't know. He was told. He didn't know. He was just surprised. Same thing with Elon Musk. Someone just told him, by the way, do you know you're now the richest man in the universe? That's not the goal. You were just told that, by the way, it's happened. It's a by the way. So if you're looking for setting a goal that you want to be a millionaire, I've got good news for you and I've got bad news for you. The bad news is that should not be your target. The good news is that it can bring you comfort. Of course, you already know that. But if the comfort is your goal, you will dull the edge of purpose in your life, which you do not want. When purpose is dulled in your life, what happens? You are not able to attain your success or even the fulfillment that you're looking for. Tomorrow we'll look at one more reason as to why you shouldn't be seeking comfort. But until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.